Okay, so we're going to be doing a chalk pastel skill builder here. So we have those in our cubby. And chalk pastels are extremely messy, so just beware. Okay, so with any art media, you want to play with pressure. So our first agenda item is soft and hard. Okay, so when you pick up chalk, you're going to notice the feel of the chalk. It feels a little cold, feels a little dusty. You can tell it's chalk. It's very different from the oil pastel that feels greasy. So they can look alike though. So the way you tell them apart is by touch. So soft. So I could put the chalk pastel on its side and softly just kind of go back and forth, or I can use the tip and softly go back and forth. And then I can try that a little harder with more pressure. Okay, so you can obviously notice the difference there. So this, if you want to be a little more delicate, give just little hints of color here and there, you would go soft, hard, more bold, right? You're going to see that there's going to be dust that forms. It kind of trickles off your little chalk stick. Do not blow the dust off your paper, because all that does is it gets dust into the air. And we don't want to breathe in that dust. So what you can do, you can gather the dust and walk it over to trash can and kind of just tilt it and shake it off into the trash can. And that's the safest way, just so we don't get dust everywhere. Okay, mix with white, mix with black, so pick a color. And color across your little box. And I'm just going to do the same color in each. And then you got to find a white and layer some white on top. Notice the difference in color. Find a black, layer black on top. Okay. Now, the really cool thing about chalk is it can blend a lot easier than some of the other media that we use. So, I could take my finger and I can soften all this up. Now this does get your fingers pretty messy. Alright, especially here on the black. The black is just always so powerful. I like to soften it a little bit, especially where the colors are transitioning. Now you don't want to overblend that it all just turns like a muddy color. And what's cool about chalk, you can always go back and add more color on top. If you lose some of the brightness that you liked, just go back. And you can see all that dust forming, so I got to get that off. So great ways to show value there with chalk. Chalk is amazing. Okay, this one should be a common one that you guys should know by now. Streaking or feathering. I love doing this with chalk. I think it's very pretty because chalk can give us such bright colors. And I just like the look of it. Very, very pretty. Layer 2 or more colors. Okay, so I gave you a big box here so you can kind of play with them more than that if you would like to. So maybe I'll start putting some colors down just next to each other. And then you want to layer, so pick a color to go on top of these colors. So blue, let's see what happens if I put a red on top. Turns a little kind of a purple or violet color. What if I put a green? What's nice when you layer colors is you can see the color underneath coming through the top color. So again, it adds that dimension to your piece. So just play around, see what you like, layering colors. And try to remember what looks good and what doesn't look good to your eyes so you can use it in one of your artworks in the future. And you'll always have this in your workbook to go back to. Down here we have scumbling. So that's kind of that scribble motion. You're going to go in a bunch of circles. Please play with layering colors here, especially with chalk. there's your scumbling. And here, experiment with chalk pastel on black paper. So you want to get a little piece of black paper, and we're going to glue that right there. So I want you just to pick some colors, see what colors show up bright. If you want to try to blend some colors on black, see what that looks like. Just experiment with a few techniques. The reason I have you guys do this is because normally when artists work with chalk, they do it on a piece of paper that is tinted. So it's not white. It's not a white piece of paper. So on black, you can tell these kind of show up almost like a neon. They look like they're glowing because the paper is a color underneath. So I don't have fancy chalk paper in the art room, but we do have colored paper, and colored paper is generally what looks really good with chalk. And it also looks good with white as well. But this just brings a whole different kind of feel to your work, and a lot of kids don't think to make their artwork on black paper. We always just go for the white. But this is an option for you. Okay, so these are just basic chalk pastel techniques, and you can tell my hands are very messy, so you will have to wash your hands after this skill builder.